I never thought I would fall in love again at 70. Honestly, I had already made peace with the idea that love belonged to my past. That romance was for younger women. That at my age, companionship was the best I could hope for. Then there was him. David Mitchell. My neighbor. A widower. Quiet. Polite. Always smiling but never really present. For a year and a half, I watched him slowly disappear behind his grief. And for a year and a half I loved him in silence. Every casserole I brought. Every invitation for coffee. Every walk I suggested. He always said no. Not because he was cruel, but because he was afraid. Afraid that opening his heart again would mean losing someone again. Afraid that happiness would remind him of everything he had lost. So I waited. I told myself patience was love. That kindness would be enough. Until one morning, I realized I was becoming invisible. That day, I was struggling with grocery bags when he joked, "Big plans today, Carrie?" Something in me snapped. Not anger. Exhaustion. I put the bags down and looked at him. "You think 70 means dead, don't you?" I asked softly. "That wanting ends. That romance ends. That life ends." He didn't answer, because deep down he believed it. I smiled sadly. "If you want to know what 70 really looks like," I said, "you should come inside." He hesitated, then followed me. Into my house. Into my bedroom. And that's when he saw the truth. A blue dress on the bed. Jewelry. Perfume. Makeup. High heels. I wasn't preparing for sleep. I was preparing for a date. "With who?" he asked. "With a man who sees me," I replied. "His name is Gerald. He's 72. And tonight he's taking me to dinner." I watched something break inside him. Jealousy. Fear. Regret. And suddenly, for the first time in 18 months, he was really looking at me. Not as a neighbor, but as a woman. "I waited for you," I said quietly, meeting his eyes in the mirror. "Every casserole, every invitation, every conversation was me hoping you'd remember you were still alive." His voice shook. "You can't go." I turned slowly. "Why not?" He had no answer. Because the truth was painful. He didn't want me to go because seeing me wanted by someone else forced him to face his own loneliness. His own wasted time. His own fear of living. "You don't have a reason," I said gently. "You just don't want to admit we still have hearts." And then I told him everything. How I had fallen for him years ago. Back when his wife was still alive. How I never crossed a line. How I loved from a distance. How I promised myself I'd never interfere. Until his wife asked me to. His face went pale. "She knew," he whispered. I nodded. "She made me promise I wouldn't let you disappear after she was gone," I said. "She said you would use grief to hide from life." He started crying. And so did I. Just then the doorbell rang. His stepdaughter stood outside, holding an envelope. His wife's handwriting. To be opened when David needs it most. We sat on the couch together, the blue dress still waiting on the bed. He opened the letter and read it out loud. She wrote that she wasn't afraid of dying. She was afraid of leaving him alone. She wrote that love is wanting someone to live even after you're gone. She gave him permission. Permission to love again. Permission to be happy. Permission to choose life. And then she wrote about me. How kind I was. How strong. How she saw me loving him quietly. When he finished reading, we were both crying openly. "She knew," he whispered. "She always knew," I replied. He looked at me differently then. Not with guilt. Not with fear. But with something softer. Something alive. "I see you," he said finally. "And I'm terrified. Because seeing you means I have to admit I still want to live." I took his hand. "I'm scared too," I said. "But I'd rather be scared than invisible." The doorbell rang again. Gerald. Early. Waiting. And suddenly everything became clear. I had two futures. One with a man who was ready. And one with a man who was finally waking up. He stood up. Walked toward the door. And instead of opening it, he turned back to me. "I don't want to lose you," he said. "Not because I'm afraid of being alone, but because I don't want a life where you're not in it." I smiled through tears. "Then don't let me go," I whispered. He didn't. And for the first time in 18 months, We both chose to live.